Hey everyone, it's me, Coral. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my book haul for March, and there's a lot of fucking books here. I'm just gonna come out with that right away. I had the intention of scaling back on my book buying a little bit, but I think what happened is that the library book sale was this month. So I bought not a whole ton, but I found some good books there, and they were cheap, so I bought them, and that's why we're here today. So let me get started. Okay, the first group of books here I bought from Thrift Books this month. My neighbors built their children a clubhouse, which is super cool. But now they stand on the top of the clubhouse and sing. Okay, so I was able to snag a couple of Kathy Koja's books. I've been looking for a good condition, decent price copy of The Cipher, but have had no luck. However, I was able to find Strange Angels and Skin for just a couple bucks at Thrift Books. So I snatched them up. I read the synopsis of both of these and I still don't really know what they're about. So I don't know what to tell you about it. I guess you'll just have to go look for yourself if you're super curious. Okay, I was also able to grab a couple other vintage horror books that I've been on the lookout for. I was able to find Mirror by Graham Masterton. This one is, I believe, about a boy whose soul gets trapped in a mirror. I also have this one. I think this might, maybe it's not. This is a great cover though. Twice Blessed by Patricia Wallace. This is about creepy twins. I'm excited about this. That cover is just so spicy. I also was able to grab Don't Tell Mommy by Harold Lee Friedman. This was such a sad moment when I opened up the package to find this book that was supposed to be very good condition. This is ridiculous. They refunded me, but like, I just don't know what employee looked at that and said, this is a great copy. I don't know. But this is about an evil baby. You know, I think Harold Lee Freeman likes to write about evil babies specifically, because I have another book coming up here, which is also by him, about an evil baby. I think there's a theme to this book haul, which is creepy kids, because I also have The Moonchild by Kenneth McKinney, and this is about a boy who dies and then is kind of like undead and like eating people, or I don't know if it's like a vampire type situation or what, but this was in Paperbacks from Hell, and it has this awesome these awesome dyed pages, and I'm really excited to get to this one. This kid is so creepy. Maybe actually I'm gonna read you the synopsis for this one. It says, "They love their little boy. If only they could bury him." The Blackstone family came to the lavish hotel in the Bavarian Alps to enjoy a snow-filled Christmas. Then their son fell mysteriously ill. The doctor was baffled, and at the hour of death, no rigor mortis was observed. Grief-stricken, they clung to the last shreds of hope. Simon was always so happy, so alive, even in death. They heard his laughter, and then the screams. Then they saw the twisted faces of his victims, frightened masks of bloody shock. Then they learned the only way to end the Moonchild's tortured existence, bury him where he was born. For the Blackstones, it meant a fearful journey across Europe in the jeweled casket of their monstrously transformed son. For all who dared peered into the coffin, it meant unspeakable death from the part of him that refused to die, that grew and grew and grew up until his last most hideous act. So, don't look in the coffin, but maybe read this book. Okay, let's see. From Thrift Books, I also found a copy of The Traveling Vampire Show by Richard Lehman. This is about a traveling vampire show and some boys who go to see it, and that's all I know. I also found Social Creature by Tara Isabel Burton. This one I actually had an art copy of a couple months ago, and so I found a copy of it and I bought it because I liked it. I thought this was a really great like psychological thriller. It made me feel like I was about to have a panic attack the whole time, which maybe some people wouldn't like that, but if it's just from a story, I like that. It's about a girl who's kind of hard up. She lives in New York City and she is like working her ass off constantly, you know, trying to make ends meet. And she happens to meet a girl who's very flighty, wealthy, and she becomes friends with this girl, and their friendship is really kind of toxic, and it was a really great book. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was great, and I really like the cover. We also have I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Halcyon or Halcyon by Rio Yours. And this is a thriller novel, and I don't like to read the synopses of thrillers. Well, like really most books I don't read the synopsis of unless I'm here with you and I want to tell you what it's about. But this one I haven't read. I don't really like to read the synopsis of thrillers, even for book haul videos, because they give so much away. And so I didn't read the synopsis of this, but I think that it has a cult in it, which I find very interesting. And I've heard a lot of great things about Rio Yours, and specifically this book, so I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, I have a couple goodies from the Vintage Book Vault on Etsy. They sell vintage books. They sell a lot of sci-fi, horror, and they're so honest about the quality, which is really refreshing. And they post pictures of every book, like more than just the cover picture. You know, they usually have a picture of the spine in the back too, which is super helpful. And they have some great stuff a lot of the time. Like there's stuff on there that I want, but I haven't bought because I just can't afford to buy every single book that I see and I want. But you should check them out if you like vintage books, because they have a great shop. So I was able to I snatched this copy so fast. It said like 4 people had it in their carts, and I was like, not today. And was lucky enough to grab it quick before anybody else did. This is The Sentinel by Jeffrey Konvitz. I know they made this into a movie, I think in the 80s, and it has this great art here. I don't know if you can see it. My lighting's stupid. But this is a book about, I mean, I'm assuming it's in the same vein as The Exorcist, you know, kind of a religious horror demon Satan story. I don't know. This is Crib by Hurley Friedman. I showed you Don't Tell Mommy, which was also written by him. And this is about an infant who dies, but his mother still hears his cries and his pleas for help. And everyone just obviously thinks that she's crazy because this is, I don't know, the 80s probably, and women are just hysterical, especially in the 80s. Yeah, 82. This also has really awesome, I don't know what they call this. I need to look it up because this is like the 4th time that I've tried to describe this and I don't know. Maybe the I don't know, art right here that's not on the cover. I'm excited about this one though, very excited. I might have to include this in a future horror trope video, we'll see. I was also able to get The Snake by John Gotti? Yeah, I don't know. You can't spell your name like that and expect people to pronounce it right. I don't know anything about this. I just loved the cover, and I'm assuming it is like a horror creature book, which I love, so hopefully this is a good one. I was also able to grab another Hotter edition that I was missing, Desperation. Yeah, I don't know. This is I haven't read this one yet, but I think it's a companion to The Regulators, which I read. I don't know if it has anything to do with The Regulators, or if it's like, The Regulators was kind of weird, so I don't know if it's like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Please don't ask me because I don't know. Let's see, I have 2 books from the Nightworms package this month. I have The Nightmare Girl by Jonathan Jans and Will Haunt You by Brian Kirk. I read Brian Kirk. I read this Brian Kirk. I don't know, does he have other books? I'm not sure. I don't know. I thought there was a lot going on here, I guess is all I'll say about it. But try it out for yourself and see if you agree with me. I also picked up the first omnibus of Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service. This is like the first 3 mangas or maybe 4 mangas in an omnibus. And this is about a group of students who bring corpses somewhere so that their like souls can be free of the corpse. And I heard that this is kind of graphic and creepy, so obviously if you like, I need to have it. I also picked up Smoke by Dan Villeda, maybe? I don't know much about this, but it seems like maybe like a historical fantasy book. I know that there's like a boarding school type of thing, and that always interests me, so that's why I grabbed this. I haven't ever really heard anyone talk about it before, but it's come up on like book lists that I've read and stuff, so I'm hoping it's great. This one has a couple different variations to the cover, and some of them are pretty cool. This one is nice, it's super watercolory, and I don't even know why I'm talking to you about this. You don't care, do you? I don't know. Okay, lastly, I'm going to get to the things that I got from the library sale this month. I picked up one of Anne Rule's books, If You Really Loved Me. This is, what was the family name? David Brown. He convinced his daughter to kill her stepmom, I believe. I feel like this is a story that I heard about when I was like a preteen, and it scared the crap out of me. Just like hearing the daughter's confessions and stuff like that was really troubling. So I found this it's probably like $1, and I snagged it. Oh, right. I was able to find a lot of thrillers, actually. I haven't read a good thriller in a while. I mean, I haven't read any thrillers in a while, so obviously I haven't read any good ones if I haven't read any. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't read the synopsis for these. So there are some of these that I really don't know anything about, and there are some things that I've heard about through other booktubers or internet people. So if my explanation is wrong, I don't know what to tell you. If any of these books sound interesting, please go look up a synopsis for yourself before you buy it. Don't just take my word for it, I guess is what I'm saying here. Let's see, this first one is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I believe, yeah, Pekkanen. Let's see, I read An Anonymous Girl, which was written by these two women a couple months ago. I was able to get an arc for it and I really liked it. So I'm hoping that I also like this. I also snagged Are You Sleeping by Kathleen Barber. I have no idea what this one's about, but I know some people who've read it and said it's good. And this cover is super cool, so there you go. Also grabbed a kind of scratched up copy of Force of Nature by Jane Harper. I read her first book, The Dry, last year, and I don't know. I thought some parts of it were super interesting, but there was like a big chunk of the middle that was just like him talking. The main character is just like talking to people a lot about shit I don't care about. But the premise for this one sounded more interesting than the premise for the other one. And since I did like parts of The Dry, I thought I would give this a try because I think I got it for $2, maybe even $1. I don't know. It was not expensive. It was cheap. So I'm gonna try it. I also found a copy of The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I've also read a couple of Ruth Ware's books, and there's something about them that are like so compelling and readable, but then when you get to the end, you're kind of like, that's it? It's like I liked reading it. It was compelling enough to keep reading, but I don't know how I feel about it at the end. But I've heard that this one is really super good, so I got it for cheap, like I said, and I'm going to get to it eventually. Okay, this isn't the last one actually. This next one is I Remember You by Yrsa Sigurdardóttir, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She is Icelandic, I believe. Yeah, she's Icelandic. I just, like the day before I found this, I listened to an interview with her. Where was that interview? Okay, I really want to say it was Books in the Freezer, the podcast, but now I can't find any recent episodes that mention her name in it, so I listened to an interview and she was talking to a woman, which is why I thought Books in the Freezer, because I don't think it was, anyways. The interview was super interesting. I've been trying to, well, not trying too hard because I could have just gone out and bought it, but I've been wanting to get a copy of this for some time, and finally I found one. I just talk too long about shit. Okay, my final book this month is The Green Mile by Stephen King. This obviously has all the serialized copies into one hardcover book. I don't have this one yet, and I found it at the library for like $2, so I decided to get it. It's in really good condition, and I thought, interestingly, it was from a Christian high school in the city I live in, which was kind of funny. I don't know. I don't think that would have been allowed in any of the private schools I went to, so maybe that's why I ended up at a library sale. I haven't read this one, but I've seen the movie a few times. It's a good movie. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's it for today, fam. I bought too many books, and now I don't have room on my shelf for them. Send me money for a new bookshelf, and then also come over and help me put it up. Okay? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books and if you have any opinions about these books, or let me know if there's any books that you bought this month that were super exciting. Yeah, that's all I have for you though. So I guess I will see you in my next video. But until then, see you later, alligators.